Have you been wearing the kimono? Is that a kimono? What the hell does that actually classify as?
This is a happy. And it's just a coat.
That's a coat?
Yeah, or like a jacket of sorts.
Oh.
So it's not an actual kimono.
I see.
It's just you wear it.
You just wear it?
Just a casual thing.
Anyway.
Funny. I'll get into it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Totally Oblivious Podcast.
Been here in weeks.
For you guys have gotten content this whole time, so you have no idea. But for me and Alex, we haven't actually sat down. I shaved
for this.
We haven't sat down and talked for 3 weeks now.
There's new people on the list.
There's a new cast member. Everyone welcome Cyndaquil.
You can't. He'll be here.
He's our computer guy.
Yeah.
And yet another Pokemon added to the roster that you guys will never see. He's never gonna be in frame.
Never.
Alex just broke the Pokeball.
I just squeezed it. I thought that was the whole purpose. You just kind of go, and it opens.
It does. There was a Pokemon inside, but I don't know what Angie did with it.
Probably ate it. Angie eats things.
She could.
Are these two scale? Pokeballs being this tiny would be funny.
I think that's like to scale when they like shrink down on the belt.
Yeah, something like that. But like, let's go Venomoth.
That is not Venomoth.
Or whoever. I was thinking of you, but then I saw your face and I was like, Venomoth or Venonat or whatever. Anyway, I guess we do have topics to talk about. I guess the first major one we need to talk about is
why.
That doesn't matter. Video games.
Should we do this chronologically?
I don't know. Whatever you feel is important.
I think we should do it chronologically. First state of business. I was in Japan.
If you can't tell by the shorts.
That's what the shorts.
The shorts have more views than the episodes.
The short. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the shorts.
What do you mean you forgot about the shorts? They were all like very well crafted.
I know. I spent I was actually having fun making those too. I immediately forgot about that.
That's crazy.
But anyway, yeah, I went to Japan. It was very fun. A lot of stories from that, but yeah, I did make the shorts. Yeah, I gotta talk about that.
Were you in any of the red light districts? I'm not trying to jump.
We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. But first and foremost, I gotta say, first time traveling international, not as bad as what people made it out to be.
What class were you in?
Also, I think the camera's too high. Hold on, cut.
We haven't done this in several weeks.
All right, guys, things might look different, but I swear we're in the same. Nothing's changed other than I remembered that the lighting actually needed to be done.
Real.
But anyway, you asked what class I rode.
Yeah.
What's the main economy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's what I rode. It wasn't bad.
Who are you next to, Isaac?
Just me and Isaac, yeah.
No third person?
On the flight there, I think it was only 2 seats, if I remember right.
2 seats are kind of rare.
It's 2 seats by the window, and they had 4 in the center.
Ooh, it's one of those
most
ones.
flights have it 3, 3, 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it wasn't too bad. Honestly, the flight there, I'd say it was a lot more comfortable than the flight.
Okay, back. I do have to ask. These are some of the questions I've always wondered, but always have stopped me. So in a sense, you are the guinea pig to what I want to do in the future. Yeah. So like, being there, looking at all the signs and stuff, was that confusing, or like what was the thought process?
Like just at the airport itself?
Just at the airport and everything in general.
So the airport, like, it was actually crazy. So getting through the Seattle airport was more complicated than getting through the Japan airport.
That I know. And
on the way home was still more complicated than getting through the Korean airport. Oh,
that's right. You guys stopped in Korea.
Because I had layover in Korea. So I had to go through there. But it was shocking. Like, the whole time I was like, man, it's going to be tough getting through customs, having to get ready to go to another country. But like I say it was harder in Seattle, but even then it was just like zoomed right through. was at the gate.
I think that's just the mentality
so
of
fast.
The Asian nations. Get that. Let's go. Come on.
But even then, like in America, at the Seattle airport, I was at my terminal so fast. I was like, everyone makes it sound like this is so stressful and hard, but I got through it so fast.
I think it's... My boy break kicked in. It's like, you know what I was thinking. You know what? I'll say it. It's just when you're a single guy doing it, it's infinitely easier. You bring in children, hard. You bring in wives and children, you might as well put it on the max difficulty. Any sleep percentage, let's go.
It's almost, I'd have to say the reason why it's so easy is because me and Isaac are very much like, whatever happens, happens. So
the wind takes us.
So that when you have that mindset going into a situation where a lot could go wrong, you tend to avoid everything that could possibly go wrong.
Real.
Especially since most of what could have gone wrong already went wrong prior to that, since the pass got snowed over right as we were about to leave.
That's right.
So I was supposed to ride the Amtrak there, but they canceled the train.
That's fucked up.
So I was like, shoot. So we had to rush and get a plane out of Pasco to get to Seattle.
Nat did that once.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad either. No. Pasco is a very even more easy airport to get through because it's so small. But honestly, airport was easy. Also, the flight is like, it sucks having to be there for 10 hours. But I brought my Switch. So literally, I was playing Majora's Mask the whole flight there. And it made it go by so fast.
Gaming is just time travel.
It really is.
That's the only... We'll talk about Monster Hunter probably near towards the end of the podcast, but like we'll get on probably after this episode relatively soon, like around 6 past 6, and we'll start playing at 6. It'll be fucking 10 o'clock in like a matter of like 3 or 4 matches.
It'll be midnight.
I'm like, what the hell happened?
That's literally what's been happening. Like, I've been trying to get back in the gym too since getting back, and I'll just be like,
I'm gaming.
Oh, I guess it's already time to go. All right.
Damn.
But yeah. Also, jet lag did not hit when I got there.
Jet lags is a choice.
Here's what's crazy is I think going to Japan, my sleep schedule actually was already preset.
I don't think it was preset. I think you destroyed it before, and it just fell in the time slot.
It fell in the perfect time slot that when I was there, it was like, I'm not tired during the day. This is weird.
That's funny.
That's how bad. And you know what's crazy? It was I was actually getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Going to bed at like, I think usually like 10 or 11 o'clock was when I'd fall asleep, waking up at 7, perfectly rested.
Jeez.
I was like, why can't I do this at home?
I don't know. Maybe it's probably due to a lot of environmental factors.
In a less comfortable bed, too. So it makes no sense. I'm almost convinced that my internal clock is just wrong. There's something actually wrong with my internal clock.
Well, it just seems like you didn't really have a time, like, struggle going places, really.
Honestly, no. I thought it'd be a lot harder because I did try to learn at least a little bit of Japanese before going. But let me tell you, just a year of learning is not enough to be able to really understand what's going on around you in a country that speaks that language that you're trying to learn.
It's not even like Spanish where you kind of go like, I think I know what you're saying.
I mean,
a completely different ballpark.
I think the problem is for me specifically, I struggle learning other languages because I tend to like tune out of every other word of what people say and just grasp like the keywords and remember that and create a response on that. So in a language that I don't know every word, that means I'm gaining at least maybe one word out of a sentence.
Jesus.
But again, with that though, I think a lot of people play that up too much because most people on the streets in Japan know enough English that you can somewhat communicate, even if it's just through like hand gestures. Like, you know what the other person's trying to say.
That's what I've also heard too about Japan. It's like everybody knows at least a little bit of English. Yeah. It's, you know, classic imperialism by the British. Everybody at least knows a little bit of it. Yeah.
Unfortunate for them, but
for us,
for me, it kind of worked out. But
look, I want some ramen, please.
Everyone there too seemed just chill. Like, everyone just kind of minds their own business.
Yeah, because they're all stressed about work, so they're not trying to.
That's probably true. But yeah, like on the train, everyone was just quiet. It was very quiet.
Everything's quiet.
It's so quiet. It's just peaceful compared to like what we deal with in America. Even in our small town,
the land of extreme.
Like, it's just so much more quiet in Japan.
There's always noise. There's like I think this has been stated before. I think while you were gone, I was getting like travel videos popping up every once in a while. And it would be like, foreigners would just be like, America is just noisy.
It's so noisy.
There's always something going on. And I know there's a juxtaposition in Japan where it's all like, you're going to talk about this. I know, because you and Isaac were going to some of the shops where like the stores and stuff would look loud. There would be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be loud, you know? It's just like, there's just a lot of things here, but like no one's like being American.
Like, that's definitely true, because like their stores, like their shelves are just like stocked to the ceiling.
Capitalism.
Full of stuff. But like everyone in the store is just quiet.
So weird.
Just everyone kind of just gets what they need.
I think they would hate me in Japan. I'm too loud. I'm too loud and bombastic.
See,
oh my god, I'm just Okuyasu. Oh my god,
Okuyasu,
oh my god, man, son of a bitch.
You're never gonna beat the allegations.
I really am never. Okay, I think I'm smart. I could use the hand way better than Okuyasu, but in terms of over personality, yeah, probably. God, that sucks.
But yeah, that was one thing though. I was really concerned about. I was like, I really hope I'm
come off as polite. I don't want to be a
polite.
dick.
I don't want to be a terrible. Like, the way I viewed it is going to another country is like being a guest in someone else's house.
Yeah. Like,
I was really like, okay, I'm gonna be a good guest here. And I hope I was, despite the language barrier. I'd like to assume that I didn't offend anyone.
I think
with my presence.
How do I put this? I feel like universally, almost in every culture, you can at least through. I think this is a universal body language thing of just being like, my bad, like this face. It's kind of like okay, you're not hostile. You should be fine. As long as you did this or be like, my bad, or like you shrug your shoulders, I think you're fine. I think people will get that.
I guess that was another thing that I realized during the trip, that a lot of people played up too much online. They genuinely just completely ignored my existence. Like, they did not care in the least. Like, I don't know if it's that I don't give up. If I don't give off like this vibe of being like an American tourist, because I don't look like a typical American.
No.
But like, they did not even bat an eye.
They're just like, what is this short man doing here? Looks like us.
Not even short. I was like average height. I was a normal height human for once in my life.
God, going to Japan, bro, me and Nat would be freaks.
You would be.
I'd be like, what the fuck? Where? Oh,
I was actually tall in a lot of cases.
Jeez, no. So, how do I say this? How were the door frames?
They're about the same as America.
Okay.
Except for the first place we stayed at in Tokyo, very small.
Okay, that makes sense though. Tokyo's supposed to be.
It's very like at least the Airbnb living spaces were very, very small. So,
okay.
That also wasn't too jarring because Cliff's wife's childhood home is where they're staying right now. and their place is also
wife
very
is Japanese?
small. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. You wouldn't think so, but she is.
People look at me. Damn, I did it to somebody who has the same lifestyle as me. You're Mexican? Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't give that off. Shit.
But yeah, it's very different, but at the same time, everything felt like it didn't feel too culture shock, I guess. Like it felt like being in Washington for the most part. Like it literally just felt like being in Washington.
Okay.
Like weather-wise, it was the same exact weather.
We're on the same longitude.
And like the only thing I noticed that was really different actually when we first landed was the soil. The soil has a very different color.
What color is it?
It's like very light brown and like grainy.
Oh.
Where ours is like
very dark.
Dark and like
I think it's probably because
textured.
They got more ocean water around them, so it's constantly like the rocks are rubbing.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not enough. I don't correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think they're really like a major like farm exporter because their soil's weak, right?
No, yeah, because that's one of the reasons. One of the things too is fruit is very expensive there. Jesus. Like any produce is going to be very high price, specifically because they don't have Mexico as a direct trading partner for produce like we do.
Oh God! I'm not. Nope. We're not
going there today. We're not going there today.
No, it's Japan Day. It's Japan Day.
But no, yeah. Honestly, though, it's just everything's so like you can tell
clean too?
It's so clean. The streets are so clean.
Damn, I could drop a pizza here
after a Friday night in one of the more like, I guess, youthful party-centric parts of Tokyo. We got up in the morning. Streets are clean. They go to work early in the morning and make sure those streets are spotless. Jesus. There's even a girl vomiting on the corner that night. And we go out, clean.
Really?
It's like, these guys are on top of things.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, in Moses Lake, there's a rotting corpse on the street for like months. And
of an animal, right?
Of an animal.
Okay.
Yes. If it was a person, I'd hope they'd clean it.
I hope so.
I'd hope that they'd get a person cleaned up because there's probably an investigation that needs to be done if there's a dead person on the road.
That's crazy.
But yeah, everything's clean. But also, this is something that was crazy that my internal brain of having strange knowledge came up. Is I noticed there was a lot of birds, like a huge amount of birds in Japan, specifically like crows and like pigeons and doves. I saw a lot of.
I think that just might be because of where we live. Because I'll say this. So back living in Othello, I used to live next to a park, and the park had a lot of trees, way more than I ever lived here. And in the time I've been living here, when I went over to Grayson's one night and partied, I had woken up to birds, and I went, this is the exact same noises I woke up to 10 years ago.
But no, here's the thing, though.
They're just everywhere.
There's not a single rodent species that I saw the entire time. Not a mouse, not a rat, and specifically no squirrels. Which means that's why there's so many birds, because they don't have any rodent species that come up to eat their eggs. Like they don't really have as many predators as they would.
Birdtopia?
Pretty much, because I think they're not only I don't think squirrels are native indigenous there at all.
No.
And I think they're pretty on top of keeping the rodent population like mice and rats down.
I think if I remember correctly, history time with Alex. So during the whole period where the country was completely closed off, it wasn't just closed off to everybody. It was closed off to everything. So major like animals looking at Hawaii where some invasive species would come in because of the ships. Japan just didn't allow that straight up. And coming into like the modern era, everybody kind of knew that was a problem.
Yeah.
And so I think, if I remember my history correctly here, Japan kind of spent a lot of money just not like getting rid of that before it even like infested the country.
Before it became a problem.
So even like to go back on the cleaning, they're meticulous about making things like clean to the best of their abilities, even to that regard.
That was probably the craziest thing was the absence of like, because even Isaac, when he was talking about Korea, said that he wasn't really seeing a lot of wildlife. But I think we're just so used to seeing like rodents all the time that in an area where they make sure to not have that problem, that it seems weird. But like the rodents were overtaken by the fact that there was so many birds. Like the pigeons were all over the place, just walking the street with people.
That's crazy.
Also, another thing that's crazy that my nature brain realized was the crows sound different than our crows. And I think that's specifically because they speak a completely different language than we do. So those crows are mimicking the Japanese language, whereas our crows mimic English.
Caleb and Post. Cynical, can you Google us the difference between a crow, an American crow, and a Japanese crow?
That might actually be interesting. If there's anything pulled up on that.
American crows have smaller beaks.
I do think. Oh, here's another thing to ask. So this might not because of we've been playing Monster Hunter, so we're gonna get into our animal facts.
Animal facts.
Were the crows and ravens and pigeons smaller by proxy?
No, they were actually pretty big.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they'd be smaller.
I don't think I saw a raven, but all the crows were pretty sizable.
Interesting.
Like they're pretty big, and the doves were about normal size. They weren't impressive, but the crows were definitely big. And that's probably because, like I said, they don't have a lot of competition for food, so they get the majority of whatever scraps are left.
That's crazy.
Plus, I think they're a respected animal, so I think people purposely feed them.
Doves?
No, the crows.
That's crazy. I love these guys.
Yeah.
I love crows and ravens.
Also, I went to Kyoto for a day. And at the shrine where they have the 1,000 gates, apparently
was that open?
Yeah, it was
when
open.
You went?
Yeah, I climbed that whole mountain all the way to the very top to the final shrine. But apparently on that route you can run into monkeys and warthogs. And I was like, what the heck?
So Japan is so weird compared to I know this is like I'm giving off the Japan like meme, like everything's better in Japan, but it's so weird by proxy that like there's just like wildlife just chilling and like
I think
suburbia.
I think
suburbia, like concrete.
What it is it's just different wildlife than what we're used to, because we're used to like just seeing deer and like raccoons and stuff. Yeah. But they have like different kinds of, because I'm sure in different parts of even the US, we'd be like, what the heck is this thing doing here?
Whoa.
Because like probably in Japan, it's not uncommon to be like, oh, look, it's a monkey. But for us, it's like, what do you mean you have monkeys here?
They're just roaming around.
Monkeys?
I like the video of Cynical. Can you pull up the video of the deer crossing the road politely? I love that video. I love the fact that animals are now like having to cope with the urban sprawl.
They're actually starting to adapt.
They're just like, oh, roads are here. Hold on.
Hold on, gang.
Here's Jake just going to his 9 to 5. Hold on. Waiting for the roads to cross. Oh, the guy just showed up on the other side of the road and it's skedaddle. But that's so cool to me.
It was definitely, that was probably one of the more interesting, surprising parts about the trip was just seeing the different endemic life that they had there. Because it's like, it's like you see a lot of stuff that's similar to what we have here, but then you see a lot of stuff that's like, whoa, this is crazy. And I went during the winter, so I didn't even get to see everything that is usually out.
I would assume spring is like
spring and summer is like crazy because they have the cicadas too. So it's probably nuts with wildlife. And I just have no idea because I went during a dead season.
I might go in the spring. It's a plan to go.
Oh yeah, it's 100% worth it. It's so cool there.
I want to go. It's so cool. All right. Well, now we got to get into the consumerism part. Where did you go?
So in Tokyo, I'll say this because we went to Tokyo, Osaka, and then Kyoto. Kyoto's definitely, if you want like the commercialized, like this is what you think of when you think of Japan, you go to Kyoto because Kyoto's like they still have the, I'm trying to think of the right word, the classic, I guess, Japanese look because they still have all the like
the 90s buildings. Are you talking about like that? And like the major like holy sites. And Osaka is like kind of like Kyoto in a way because I have a lot of those areas as well. Like Osaka Castle is one place I went to that was really cool. Just like, because it's like a huge courtyard or like park just surrounding a crazy castle that like, I don't know if they've remodeled it at all, but it's definitely like the same castle that they've had since the Warring States period in Japan.
Yeah, because I even learned a lot about, well, I can't say learned because it didn't really stick in my head because we went like
he was enthralled by the beauty of it all.
We went like 3 days straight of just looking at like historical sites.
No, that's badass.
So I was just trying to take in as much information as I could. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot retain all of this.
I would if I were to go to Japan, I would do that. But then I would also take time to go to some of those. There's a few manga museums. Oh, yeah. I would so go to that.
If I had time, we probably would have explored more stuff like that. But I was like, all right, so we're getting to the point where we're going to start running low on time. And these are the things that I really want to see is like historical stuff. So I made sure that we did go to that. So Osaka Castle was definitely one that I thought was really cool. But just overall, there's like stuff like that in Osaka. I think that's the main one there. Because the main thing about Osaka is, I'm kind of going backwards here. You're good. But the main thing about Osaka is their food district, which is crazy. I guess I'll get to that.
Yeah, you got a lot of food.
But Tokyo was the first stop. And I'm going to say Tokyo is... Is
it all as it cracked up to be?
It's more, I think it's probably more about the nightlife in Tokyo if you're just visiting.
Quick tangent. So while you were in Japan, right, I was here in the States indulging in adult activities. So what I like to do sometimes when I do adult activities, so I'd play 8D Japanese audio, and I think you are correct on some of those like vloggers trying to really capture like Japan and like its full audio sound is it looks way more lively at night. And that I think is a byproduct. I've been playing too much Monster Hunter that I'm like the environment of the surrounding environment like causes a trickle down effect. The work life causes the nightlife.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the reason.
It looks so interesting.
But like Tokyo is definitely like, if you're really into like those crazy like touristy sightseeing, like buying stuff and like going to those places that I
might go full J-Slat though. I feel like I'm going to do the opposite of you and be like, I want to go down that alleyway. I want to see where that goes.
We could have, but we did have stuff that we were already like, yeah, we got to do this. We got to do this. So I would have liked to explore more, but I was like, for our first time, we do kind of have to have like a set thing that we know what to do. And so we know how to find stuff.
If I had my one set thing, I think I do kind of want to, I totally would make a YouTube video out of this. I would know what I would title it, and I might even put it in like a really big Rocky video. I would love to go to the town that inspired Mario and be and see if I could like pull in all the strings that'd be like, okay, I understand why Josuke acted like this, or Okuyasu, or how Kira fit in this whole theme here. Because I think that would be pretty badass. There's a lot of like, just going there to feel like, okay, so this is where you get all the author inspiration. Because I sometimes do that in Seattle with some Seattle authors or like people from the Pacific Northwest and be like, okay, I understand why you came up with this being in the woods here. It's like very engrossing you into the nature part. And I feel like just going to Japan, looking around, it's just, I don't know, you were there more than me. I think now you have more context looking at more Eastern media now. I'd be like, wow, I understand this now. I was there for a week.
I think so. And a lot of it's like less of like I understand and more like I get to like an appreciation for what you see, since I was already predisposed to it through media that I've already been knowing for my entire life.
Yes, great.
But like
crazy, man, crazy.
I think one thing that I was very excited about seeing, which is probably weird for a lot of people to hear, but it's the truth, is I loved the architecture of because all three of the cities had very different architecture, but it was all just neat to see how the cities are built and like how they structure things. But like, I don't know, Tokyo's very much like, it felt like America. If America decided to actually put effort into the infrastructure. But I got to tell you about one of the craziest districts I went to. The Akihabara district is nuts.
For what?
It's just lights and signs, and it's just all anime. But it's not like, I don't think it's like,
what do you mean by anime? Do you mean Shonen Jump anime or just anime?
Just anime.
Like some of the characters just look all the same anime kind of style? Just like, there's like 3 different pink-haired girls. I think they look different.
Kind of, pretty much. It was just anything animated. It was there. And it was shown on a big billboard. And you didn't see like the same one twice.
That's crazy.
There's just so much. And there's just like, I don't even know really how to describe it. It's just nuts. Like, if you have problems getting overstimulated, don't go to that area because it's crazy.
I can already hear Nick's reaction. There's too much going on.
It's just lights and people, and
I wonder if
it's wild.
I wonder if the average Japanese person just has the ability just to cancel anything out because of the amount of just colors and sounds.
But it's like the craziest thing while we were there, because we're bored waiting for the Monster Hunter bar, which was in that area, which is why we decided we're like, we'll spend a day here.
We're gonna put hours into it when we get back home.
Pretty much. So we're just waiting for our table to open up for Monster Hunter. And so we were just walking around and going to like the different shops and stuff. And they have cool stuff. I spent probably too much money at the arcades there. Like an absurd
but you know
amount.
what? Support those arcades. They are badass.
They're so cool. But also, man, those gacha machines are bull crap.
They are the OGs.
I think I actually spent I didn't spend a lot of money, but half of that money went to gachas and only won 2 prizes. But like, those were crazy. The actual game stuff there, though, very fun. I had a lot of fun just playing on arcade games. Played Bomberman while I was there.
Oh shit!
So cool.
So you stayed mostly in like the city parts, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know if I'd do that. I'd love to go to the countryside. I'm just a country guy.
If you have time, but we didn't have time because you need to like understand how the train systems work. And a lot of those trains have very specific routes. So if you want to go to like the countryside, you have to set aside an entire day and know specifically where you want to go in the countryside to do that. But like, the shops there in Akihabara were wild because there's like the typical, there's like anime figurine shops. And they had like
the Gooner stuff. the Gooner stuff everywhere.
There was Gooner stuff, and then we literally in one of the shops, the very front of it, I was enamored by because they had Pikmin plushies, and I was like, also side tangent, Pikmin. I saw more stuff for that than I did Pokemon.
That's so weird.
They literally had an ad on one of the trains of Pikmin, not for the game, not like selling a game, but just with the Pikmin characters. Officially Nintendo too. So I was like, why is Pikmin popular here?
So I can actually answer that question. So when it comes to Japanese advertisement, even though they sell to the West, Western opinions don't fucking matter.
They do not care.
All. Does not matter. That's why JoJo's, for whatever reason, right? Because I know your opinions on Part 5. You don't like Part 5.
No.
Didn't even watch it. In Japan, it is the second part, or it couldn't even be argued the most popular part out of all even 9 of them right now. Why? I can probably tell you why, but like Japan has a way different mentality and a way different idea and like certain like liking of not stereotypes, but like tropes they like, and Pikmin just globally Pikmin.
Pikmin in Japan, apparently they love Pikmin. Because I saw so much Pikmin stuff everywhere, and I was like, this is great. I love Pikmin too.
I love these people.
I love Pikmin. But so yeah, I go into that store thinking it's like, they have like random video game merchandise and stuff.
Gooner.
And then you get to the back and it's literally sex toys.
Gooner.
There's not even like a separation either. Like we just
manga.
We just wandered back and it was like, wait a second.
Is that what I think that is?
Hold on a minute.
You know what I would like to ask you, since you were in the major parts that would kind of answer this. So people say America is the land of extremes, but in specific with Japan, would you say that's more of the case or less of the case? Because it really does seem like everything's compact. So like it's not the land of extremes, it's a land of close. What would you say? I'm just curious.
I'd say it's about on par as in terms of that kind of stuff. I'd say from my experience, it's about on par with what I've seen in America. It's nothing like insane, but like if you go to like certain areas, you will see stuff that's like
it's suspicious.
Like literally walking through one of the mazes that they have in one of the food districts. I think it was in the Taito district in Tokyo. That's another one. It's just all food, but it's literally like an endless maze of shops and food. But inside that maze, we're just waltzing around, and there's just a t-shirt with a fully nude woman on it, and we're just like, what?
We got titties on display.
Why is this here?
You see any like cuss words just on shirts yet or no?
No, I didn't see any. I didn't see any of that, but there was that shirt that I was like, why? Why is that just here?
It's hard to read.
It wasn't even like a hard to access area either. Like anybody could wander upon that.
Maybe it was like it said it on a sign, but due to your American mind, you're just like, oh, it's just a sign.
No, like
titties.
Literally, if this was like the walkway, right, and that wall right there was their shop, where that hole is in the wall, that's where that shirt was.
Oh.
So it's like, that was like front display.
That's crazy.
That was like, all right, I guess I didn't need to see that, but I guess I saw it now.
Crazy.
But that was probably the most wild thing in a tame environment I saw. Well, I guess it's kind of the most wild thing in general. But I guess to get to this part of the story is in Shinjuku, where we were staying, that is apparently a very big party district. And from what I was reading, in every single what to do while in this area, because that's where we're staying, is they all collectively agreed that you had to go to the red light district there. So I was like, I mean, like, we were just bored one night, and I was like, every single thing says to check it out. So I guess we might as well go see what people are talking about there. And so we went out there. It was like 9 o'clock, and we walk out to where the red light district is. This is where it gets funny.
The infamous story.
The infamous story. So we're walking along, and as we are getting there, like, we walk past like the area where they have like the gay bars and stuff. And then we finally get to like the main area. And the moment that we get to the main area, Isaac gets approached by like this big guy. I want to say he was
big guy in terms of American or big guy in terms of Japanese?
I'd say like not like huge, but he's like a like huskier guy. I want to say he was like Jamaican or something, because he seemed to know, he knew very good English, and was he seemed to know specifically a lot about the Americas. From what I was overhearing in the conversation. But he goes up to Isaac and says, "My brother, do you want to see some titties?" "Hey, we can show you some titties right now. It's a fine night, and let me tell you, these titties will send you to heaven." This is every man needs titties in their life, and you, my friend, you look like somebody who needs titties.
I would be disrespected, but like, why me, asshole?
And Isaac is like, "No thanks, I already have a girl." So we just kind of, and this guy followed us. He was walking with us, trying to convince Isaac to see titties for at least about 2 blocks that we
crazy.
walked.
Dedication.
He was dedicated. He really thought Isaac wanted to see some titties.
You know,
Some titties that could send him to heaven.
I have to,
according to his pitch.
I know how Isaac looks. I feel like the reason why he followed Isaac for 2 blocks is just because of the aura Isaac gives off. It's like, you look like a gooner. Do you want to look at some titties? No, just to Isaac, but I don't know.
But so we eventually that guy stops following us, and we get to another corner, and another guy comes up to Isaac and he goes, "Hey, big boy, you want to see some titties?" And Isaac's like, again, "No thanks," and we keep walking. But literally, every intersection, there was these guys. They're all like just husky big guys, all calling out to, and actually they weren't all husky, but there was like the first 2 were like big husky guys, and then we got to like started seeing like I think it was a couple Indian guys and then Japanese guys, but they all said the same thing to Isaac. They all saw him and said, "Hey, big boy, hey, big boy," and we're just like,
did it ever even point it at you? That's
the thing.
Weird.
Is we went all the way through, and Isaac got called out every time.
What about you?
And all the way back, and not a single one called out to me to ask if I wanted to see some titties.
You know what? Okay, there's 2 things here I'm gonna say to them. A critique to their jobs.
Oh, I have the same critiques too.
1, no, not that. It's a hustle. Fuck it. I gotta let them do it. 1, there are 2 guys in front of you. You're only looking at one of them. Failure. I'd be mad at your boss. Say it to both of them. Second off, are you only picking on the guys that you think need to get laid? Because the idea would be all guys need to get laid. We are trying to make money.
Okay, here's where I think their marketing strategy is wrong.
Okay.
So here they're sending out big dudes, or just dudes in general, asking other dudes if they want to see titties. Why not have the actual girls out there
That's probably to give my limited bouncer info. It's like protection of property.
But they have other girls out there. Like there are girls out there with signs.
Yeah, it's just probably like a.
But like what?
Thing.
Why? Like that's just a terrible business strategy.
Yeah.
What guy is gonna be like, man? Of course I want you.
You got me, guy.
I don't see I don't see the goods that could be offered. But you calling me big boy, and you're saying that these titties could send me to heaven. Man. All right, I think I see what you're saying. I think I know what's going down here. I believe you. So like immediately, I was like, that's just a terrible marketing strategy.
Yeah.
And second off, I was also feeling a little left out. That not a single one of them asked if I wanted to see anything. Like we even passed I think it was a whole strip club we passed, and not a single person acknowledged the fact that I was even there. But they all came up to Isaac and were like, "We know what you want to see," and then Isaac was like, "Why aren't they asking you? Why are they only bothering me?" I was like, apparently the only thing I could think of was my aura was too strong for them, and they just could not possibly find an opening to be like that. They felt comfortable approaching me.
Okay, so I'll swing it like this, because this is probably what they're going off of, because it's only first looks. I don't know if Isaac was well dressed compared to you, but like, was there a distinction between how you guys were looking?
No, we were basically dressed the same. The only difference was he was wearing a hat, and I was unshaved.
Maybe it was because you're unshaved. I think it was because maybe you had a little bit of facial hair.
Maybe. Were they scared? Did my little tiny bit of facial hair scare them away?
Japan is not a very hairy country.
But like these weren't even Japanese guys. They weren't all Japanese.
It's crazy.
Like I genuinely could not. I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't approach me other than the fact that they were scared of me.
That's so
like was weird. I giving off too much aura? Did I?
That's fucking out of that whole trip. That's what I kept on hearing on Discord.
Hey, big boy, hey, big boy. But it was just so funny. But there was only one time I got approached. Mm-hmm. As we were leaving the district, this lady walks up and is like, "Excuse me, would you be interested in a massage for 3,000 yen? We're offering massages." And I was like, "No, thanks." And then Isaac was like, "Is that the only time this is the only time you were approached? Was that lady asking for a massage?"
Was she like really polite about it? Or
she's pretty polite.
I would have been like, is it a happy massage, a special massage, just a regular massage?
I mean, that's what I was curious about. I was like, because as we were walking away, I was like,
wait a minute.
She didn't specify if it was like anything bad. That might have been a legit massage place. Because as we were walking past, because like if it was like anything like sexual in nature, they probably would have upcharged something like that. Mm-hmm. But she was offering like the same rates that the normal massage places that had signs up front were offering.
Shit, that might have just been a normal massage.
So I was like, I think this lady was probably a normal masseuse who just so happened to set up in the red light district and had no idea what kind of area she set up in. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Nobody's coming into my massage place."
You know what it probably is? Okay, I'm going to tell you what kind of place that is. It's a massage place, but once you get in the door, that's where they fucking get you. And they go,
"It's a scam massage."
No, it's not a scam massage. They'll give you a massage, but it's like, what's $100 in yen?
I think it's like maybe 15,000.
15,000 yen, happy ending. Mm-hmm. And then that's where they get you. They go, well, like,
probably, because there was a lot of apparently there was a lot of happy ending massages around the area.
Oh yeah,
but like
that's where they get you. It's intimate, because they probably, this is, I don't know their exact strategy, but they probably give you the massage and then they go, money. And then that's but you're already in there. You're like, you know what, man? Why not?
Why not? When in Rome, you know. But to my knowledge, that lady could have been just an upstanding masseuse who
just in the red light district,
who just so happened to be in the red light district, set up and being like, you know, business has been slow. Maybe I should get out there and start talking to people on the street to get them into my massage place, because I don't understand why people aren't coming in.
So weird.
It's so weird. Like, it's a perfect area. There's probably people coming out of the bars stressed. They probably just need a massage after a long day of work.
That is so.
But that was one time I was approached. That I was like, maybe did I just look stressed? Did I look tense? Is she like, oh man, this guy looks like
you know what the strategy is too? Everything around there is like a certain type of overstimulating. So get hit with a massage would be like, it's almost like the perfect remedy, I would say. But that's God, I love that joke. Hey, big boy.
Hey, big boy.
Big boy.
Hey, big boy. Literally, though, every single guy yelled that out to Isaac, asking the same thing if he wanted to see some titties.
What if you hit, that's what I would love to do. I'd love to hit him with a reversal and be like, want some cigarettes?
Want some cigs? Hold on, we got stuff in America too. You ever heard of guns?
Y'all ever heard of an M9?
Y'all ever heard of an
AK-47?
M16? But yeah, I felt left out. Not a single one.
Do you ever get hit on? Anybody actually like look at you?
No.
Nothing.
Not a single thing. The only time that people started actually like, I wouldn't say approaching, because I think only one person actually did approach. But the only time I started getting conversations was when I was in Osaka, because we went to all like the theme stores, like the Nintendo store and like Pokemon store. I got a cool Pokemon shirt. Caleb would put that on screen.
Yeah, so we'll put that on screen.
Put it on screen. But that shirt, the Pokemon centers are really cool. Nintendo store is pretty cool. But I didn't start getting people to want to have conversations with me until I got an Animal Crossing windbreaker. And I wore that in Nintendo World and to Kyoto. And in Nintendo World, anytime I'd buy food, they're like, oh, you Animal Crossing?
And I was like,
I love Animal Crossing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like Animal Crossing too.
I love getting skinned by the raccoon.
They just talked to me about Animal Crossing.
Oh, Isabel.
Like that was the only time. And then at the Nintendo store in Kyoto, one of the girls there, one of the workers, she just walked up to me and was like, Animal Crossing? It's so cool. Animal Crossing's cool. We have a whole section for Animal Crossing over here. I was like, oh yeah, that was like the first place I checked.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love Animal Crossing. And then she was like, just talking about stuff. And she's like, where are you from? I was like, I was just Washington.
I'm an American.
Saying American, though, I'm pretty sure she can tell American. So I was like, oh, I'm from Washington. She's like, oh, Washington, that's cool. And she's like, hey, you want to try out the game demo that we have over here? And I was like, well,
I wasn't. The best GameStop I've ever been to.
I wasn't gonna, but I guess I will now since you're offering. But she was cool. She let me play Donkey Kong at the Nintendo store.
That's crazy.
And that was the only time anybody's ever talked to me was when I wore something Animal Crossing.
While in Japan, to wear Japanese brands.
Isaac was like, apparently you should wear that Animal Crossing jacket more often. People actually want to talk to you.
Apparently.
So, yeah, that was the only two times was apparently I looked stressed and the lady thought I needed a massage. And those people at Nintendo really liked that I liked Animal Crossing. The only times I got approached. But that was pretty much Tokyo in a nutshell. It was just a lot of like seeing really big sightseeing places, shopping. Osaka is crazy though, because I thought it was just like food stands and stuff, but they have like a shopping district too. But literally like half the city is a giant mall, 9 stories high, of just random shops, random food places. So you could literally get lost there as well. Because you go through this whole mall. I want to say, like, where we explored was probably the entirety of downtown Moses Lake, of just 9-story tall malls. And then as you keep going, you get to another area that's a whole other strip of just food vendors. Like, it was nuts.
It's so weird. What the hell?
Like, it's crazy how much stuff they had just in that one small area. I was like, you literally couldn't explore every shop in one day. It's impossible. Because literally, like, how malls here have, like, the walkways? Well, just imagine that. But on each side of that walkway, there's a huge building, 9 stories high, all filled with shops. And on the other side is the same thing.
So there's
and that goes down for the entirety of downtown Moses Lake.
What the fuck?
It was nuts.
I'm gonna be honest. I cannot comprehend that.
It was hard to comprehend for me too, because at first I thought it was just like a walkway.
That's just multiple Walmarts.
Like,
just
I
in a
literally
row.
thought it was just one singular walkway, because the way it is, it's like it just looks like an arched area where it's like a ceiling. So it has the aesthetic of a mall, but it's like when you walk in, you don't think it's a mall because you just walk in this open air space. So you think you're just like, oh, I'm on the street. But then as you're walking through, you're like, this just keeps going.
And going.
And going. And then you walk in the building and it's a department store sized level that goes 9 stories up.
Jesus Christ.
And they're all connected. So it's just a massive shopping area. And literally I genuinely don't think it's possible to explore all of that, even in a single vacation, because there's just so much there. Because I think even at night, we somehow wandered into that area without even knowing. That's how big it is.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Like, that's probably one of the most insane parts of that trip, was just the realization of how big that shopping area was.
So how am I gonna ask this question? So like in Akira and in some Japanese media, like a lot of their alleyways look really, that aesthetic, that alleyway aesthetic they have compared to our classic New York one that I've seen sometimes in Seattle. Is that like everywhere too? Just like the pipes, like the walls just covered in things. You're like, what the hell does all this go to?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the exact aesthetic.
What the hell?
But not for that area. That area is all shops.
That's
because and then like where we were staying was just like a bunch of like convenience stores and hotels and like apartments. So like that was like a given, but like literally 10 minutes away was just that, and it was insane. Plus we were there on the Emperor's birthday. So they had like a huge marathon straight through town. So it was literally like a video game event where it was like, you can't go through this area right now. You need to take the long way and figure out another path through the underground to get to where you want to go.
So that's where that comes from.
And that was before we realized how big that shopping area was. Because at first I thought, like, I know I keep going back to it, but it's truly a jarring experience.
Maybe that's why the whole. Now that you say it to me, and I'm having all like my manga and anime like references to what's been made from them, is just like that feeling, especially with Chainsaw Man, where like one of the devils is like infinitely long corridors. You're just describing an infinitely long mall.
It did feel like that, and without like proper navigation, you would probably be lost in that area for a long time.
You could possibly die in that area.
Well, there's food everywhere, and you could always...
Hey, give me your food. I'm dying.
I mean, you wouldn't die there, but you could live there. You could survive there for a while.
That's crazy, dude.
Like, I don't think I could possibly... I have videos of it. I think I could show you. But like
nuts.
it goes on forever. Also, Nintendo World, very cool. The Universal did a very good job with Nintendo World. Like it literally felt like a video game. Very well made. I gotta find.
Dude, I gotta go to Japan, man.
It's so. If you go, I'm already ready to go again. Like I genuinely had so much fun there because like a lot of it, like once we were done with like seeing what we wanted to see for a day, it was just like, oh, let's just wander and see what we can find. And then we just ended up finding just the most random crazy stuff.
That's so weird.
Like this in Taito, in that food district, we found this place that just made very simple meals where it was like rice and like shredded beef, and I got a mackerel fillet. But it was so good. Like that's probably my favorite thing that I ate there was that. And it was just a simple meal, but it was just like, I don't know. It was something about it was just like filling for the soul. So here's kind of a video of, let me see if I get the, okay. So if you watch this, stop. If you watch this, you kind of get an idea of what that food area was like. Oh. And keep in mind, this is a small area.
Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me turn on the brightness real quick. What like, the? There's so much.
It's all food and like novelty shops. That's what that whole area is.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I'm just replaying the video, dude, but Jesus.
And like that's not even the mall. I'm still trying to find. I know I took a video of how it looked.
There's a funny picture or photo of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny photos of me. Dude, I can't take pictures of myself.
Is this the Golden Palico?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The KK.
I have it in my room.
Here, Caleb eating. I wanted to see there was some. Wow, the environment looks like what I think it would look like at night.
Yeah, it's not like. It's shocking, but at the same time, like, I felt like it wasn't jarring for me. Like, I kind of already knew what I was getting into.
That is neat. There's Osaka Castle.
Osaka Castle is so cool, dude.
It definitely looks dope.
It was so cool.
Near Osaka Castle is one of their baseball stadiums.
So I went to the Tokyo National Museum and the Osaka Castle. The Tokyo National Museum had so much crazy stuff because like they have a whole building based on like all like the cultures that like built up to Japan getting created and like all their surrounding like Asian countries, which was crazy because like they go back to like even they have like artifacts from ancient Egypt, and one of the things they had in there was an actual mummy. That they took off the face covering for. So you can literally see the skull.
I love this pose.
Oh, yeah. My trench coat.
The trench coat was crazy.
The trench coat went hard.
It does go hard.
It genuinely went hard. But apparently, to the people there, the Animal Crossing jacket went harder.
That's crazy. But it definitely looks like I think Nat would enjoy the nightlife. She is a very... I in Seattle where we can't really walk anywhere. I would be down to go out with her walking around some areas. So looking at something like that, dude, she would be out all night fucking long.
And the thing too is like the streets are safe.
That's crazy.
Like, it's so like nobody's like freaking out. I did see a couple like homeless people, but like
it's a major city. It's gonna
nobody's like it doesn't seem dangerous there, like as it does in America.
That's so weird, dude.
And I probably part of that is because they have so much surveillance everywhere, and they probably keep heavy track on those cameras.
They also don't like the Yakuza at all.
Yeah.
They're very, very anti-crime.
Oh, here we go. This will kind of give you an idea of what the area looked like.
It's definitely on my trip. Nat wants to go to New York now.
I'd like to go to New York too.
She wants to go everywhere.
I guess if we want to kind of get into future trip ideas, since I do want to go to Japan again, but I do want to see more of the U.S. as well, because I think there's just a lot to see here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is just like a nugget of what that area was.
So much food. You had so much food.
So much food. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, that area, it looks small, but on both sides, both those buildings are 9 stories high. Oh yeah, the Jurassic Park car. I loved it. I wish we had time to go see the Jurassic Park area. I wish. But Nintendo World,
it looks big.
Is crazy.
Dude, why is there so many people at Nintendo
I think everybody went to Nintendo World. I don't think the majority of people who went to Universal probably ordered multi-day passes specifically because they wanted to spend a whole day in Nintendo, because literally it was so jam-packed. But I think what's cool about that area is I haven't been to a lot of amusement parks, so maybe it's the same at other ones. But in Nintendo World, while you're waiting in line for stuff, they still have stuff for you to be doing.
That's crazy.
Like everything's like a mini game there. Like having those wristbands.
I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Those wristbands add there's like a stamp book.
Look at the joy in his eyes.
There is so much. I was so happy. So I guess since we got to this picture, I got to talk about the Mario Kart ride. I had very low expectations when I first heard about it. I was like, how crazy could they make a Mario Kart ride? Like, what could possibly be so special about it? But it was actually really fun. Like the way they combine, because like they combine like Mario Kart-ish, but at the same time they like turn it into like an arcade rather than just being like a ride. So you're wearing like the VR headset, and you and your squad mates are like shooting at the enemy team and trying to get a high score in Mario Kart. And I got the highest score out of my team because I'm the best Mario Kart player.
I'm a gamer.
I came back to the US and the first thing I did was 100% Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Okay, big boy.
Hey, big boy. But no, yeah, I was genuinely surprised on how good the Mario Kart ride was.
Japan has become super touristy, and that's a little bit of history here. So, a little bit of Dragon Ball history too. So the reason why Dragon Ball didn't really get really big here until it got big in Mexico was because it was so fucking cheap to just like edit. And voiceover for them, because with Americans, you know, we want to be paid X amount, da 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 da. So it took a long while for Japan to cross over into America, but it took half, or at least even half of that, for them to get into Latin countries, because they were trying to export themselves all around the world at that time, especially in, you know, the Americas. So the reason why they have everybody going now is because over the last
everyone
50
realized,
years,
wait a minute, this place is cool.
This place is cool. Wait a minute, that's where everything I like is from there. So because of their massive like anime throwing
and
out,
now that games are actually like a mainstream thing, that it's
everybody's going there.
Everybody wants to see that kind of stuff, especially Nintendo, since Nintendo is like the first big one, and now the people who grew up playing Nintendo are now adults.
They can go there.
They're like, oh, let's take our kids to go see these
long-term investment by the Japanese people.
They really did play the long game, and I think it's really working out for them.
If I were to go,
at least for the corporations, I'd say.
Yeah, they played the long game. Now, if I were to go to Japan, I think I'd probably either do it in the spring of next year, or maybe the winter of I guess this year, because it's already passed. And I'm a different type of head. Why I would love to go to those places, I think I would like to spend a majority of my time near like just the Japanese gates, the religious places.
Yeah.
I would just want to be there and just be surrounded by the bliss of it.
And I wish I could have spent more time at those places.
Be around those Torii gates, man. They just seem
but
so
I
cool.
think just given the time of year I went, that wasn't like the places to go, just because like you probably want to go to those places more during like the spring or summer when it's warmer and there's more endemic life to see, more to experience. Yeah. But like it was still cool going to those places. But
I go there for like 2 weeks. I wouldn't stay there for any shorter. There's no way.
Oh yeah, you have to go there for 2 weeks. It was like in 2 weeks' time we crammed so much into it, and it was like we still didn't get to explore everything. But definitely, I would love to spend more time.
I'm hoping Steel Ball Run.
When I go again, I'd love to spend more time at places like that. But definitely got to go back to Nintendo World because that was cool.
I don't think I'd go to Nintendo World.
You have to. You have to.
So my one problem
is 1 day. You only have to spend one day.
I'm gonna be real. It's just because I'm not a big Nintendo head. I could I know it looks cool. I seen Max's video on it. I looked at it. I'm like, eh.
Even not being a Nintendo guy, Isaac had fun there.
I know. I can get you have fun. I know you would have fun, but where my mind wanders to with Japan, it's like I want to go to even more specific sites for my interests because I just want to be around those. I love Torii gates. I don't know what's up with me, but I love the idea of the Torii gates. So I want to go to those they're old cool. religious sites.
I feel like that is something you actually should go to see.
Yeah,
because we did stop at a couple of those even before the Tokyo Museum and Osaka Castle. I think there's one, like the thing that's hard about those ones is they're very like hard to find. Like you have to pretty much stumble upon them.
Oh, I'm going to get my level up.
That's a lot of those areas where we're just walking, especially in Taito, just walking around and I'd be like, there's another one, but we don't have time to see it, but I want to see it.
Oh, God, I want to go too, but I also want to go to Mexico and Guatemala too. That one would probably be significantly easier having a Spanish girlfriend.
And I think that's the lesson to take from anything that I've said today is
learn the goddamn language.
Exploring the world is just fun.
It is.
Like, I think everybody should at least, it is a lot of financial strain, but if you can make the effort, definitely do, because it's worth your time to get to explore something different than your home for once.
Oh yeah, I have enjoyment just going to one of I'm gonna spend a week in Seattle with Nat for spring break, and my goal is to probably go to like the coast again, and then the national park Olympia with
and those are so cool too.
I just like nature. I love me some nature.
I need to see the Woodland Park Zoo in Tacoma again. I
went to the park in Seattle.
And the aquarium. Oh my god. There's just
in Tacoma or
no
Seattle?
In Seattle.
Oh, I went there again.
It's so good. It's so neat. It's so cool.
The seals are funny.
When I went there last year, it was just so cool. Like I was literally like a child on a field trip, asking each of the people working there, being like, "Well, what's this thing? What's going on here?"
What's going on?
And they were so happy to tell me.
The octopuses are cool.
Like I don't think people ask them questions, because when I asked them a question, like one of the girls at the first tank we went to, where there's a bunch of sea urchins, and I was like asking her about what was going on in the area. She was just like, I saw her eyes light up. She's like, I can't wait to tell you about marine biology.
My special interest. No, I like Seattle. Seattle's fucking dope.
I think Seattle gets a bad rap. It's actually cool.
No, it definitely is. It's really cool. The only problem I have with it is it's not very walkable. Ever since Nat pointed that out to me, I'm like, fuck, I can't go anywhere unless you're in the U district. The U district kind of gives you the ability to walk everywhere. But my only two major problems with Seattle is it just needs to feel more safe. and get maybe half the homeless problem, and past that, I'd be in Seattle every other week.
Man, I gotta talk about this though. Last thing, this will be my last point about Japan. And it's all full circle for what I believe in on this podcast. The public transportation, the riding the trains everywhere was so good. It was so good because it was literally like, I think maybe at most a 5-minute walk to any train station.
It doesn't matter. You've already convinced me.
And it was just so good because you could get anywhere in the huge city. We were able to ride a train all the way to Kyoto. Like, not even a bullet train, just a normal one of their monorails. Just to Kyoto, and it was so good. It wasn't even a long ride. I think it was maybe 40 minutes, and in the US it would take a lot longer than that, even in a car, or as much time, but it was less stress because we were all just like, all right, we just ride the line. And sure, there's transfer trains that can get confusing, but once you actually know if you actually know where you're going, you get there so fast and it's so convenient.
Don't their aren't all of them bullet trains too? Nearly all of them?
They're not all bullet trains, but I did ride their bullet train from Tokyo to Osaka, and that is so good. It's so good, and it's so we got to Osaka so fast.
The sheer thought of being able to go from like Seattle to Sacramento in like an hour,
a couple hours maybe,
is something that like I will always want to kill a politician over for. No, I'm being serious.
Because it's just so...
Like, why? Why not?
Of all the places to have that infrastructure, you'd think America would be number one on something like that. Yeah. Given the fact that our country's so spread out on a huge...
We did have that.
A huge landmass that we'd be like,
We need to get
I know planes are convenient, but you'd think we would have an alternate way of traveling across land that makes it very convenient for citizens to get around and would also boost the economy, since everybody's on the ground, that once they stopped at train stations, would be more inclined to stay in an area for a while and spend money in those areas, especially in areas that are very rural.
Or, the middle of the country, which has fucking nothing.
Which, cars do that, but at the same time, it's very inconvenient to have to take a car across the entire country. Especially when you could just take a train and you get there probably faster and definitely cheaper.
It's kind of weird looking at the different capitalisms, because it's like what you're describing here is like everything is capitalistic, but it's not predatorial.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other side. It's okay. This is how I describe it: capitalistic, unranked.
Yes.
American capitalism, ranked. No. Ranked.
Pay to win,
high ranked, but we're in the top bracket percentage. So everything is optimized rank. So you're not seeing. I'm going to use a video game example here with Marvel Rivals and League. You're seeing the same comp teams over and over and over again.
And it's so dumb.
Yes.
It's so dumb and so...
I don't think capitalism is bad.
It's so inconvenient because I think about like the big cities, especially like what I hear about California with their insane road system. So I'm like, you have 10-lane highways that could be solved by one train.
Maybe multiple.
Well, they do. Japan has so many trains, and they're all on time. Literally, I was watching the clock. I was like, let's see if it actually gets here at 8:20. 8:20 on the dot.
That's crazy.
But it's stuff like that it's literally like they have a train coming like every 2 to 5 minutes, each stop, just going around in a circle. And then those trains transfer. They basically have just a spider web of trains that constantly can interlink and get you to where you need to go as conveniently as possible. When it's like, man, I look at America and it's like, do I need to take my car through the hours of traffic when I could just take when it would be more convenient if we just had a train that took us from one place to another and we wouldn't have traffic jams because every person's just in those trains. Sure, the trains get packed with people, but at the same time, if you're packed against another human, you're not going to get into as much collateral damage as if you're packed with cars and trying to squeeze in your car into a lane and the other person's not going to let you squeeze in for God knows what reason.
And the whole American mentality of, but like, what if I want my car? You can keep your fucking car.
You can still have a car.
We're not going to get rid of just all the roadways. I know that's some people's arguments, but it's literally ludicrous.
Like
you can't do that.
You still have the cars. People in Japan still drove cars, but enough people looked deep inside themselves and were like, I could drive my car, but taking the trains is a lot cheaper and a lot more convenient. So we're gonna do that because I think,
and it would make it more convenient for you because that means like what, half or more than half of the population would ultimately go to trains, making it better to drive. It would overall benefit you more than you think.
It benefits people who drive cars so much because in economic theory, if the demand for fuel goes down, the prices for fuel should also in themselves be driven extremely low, which means people who do want to drive cars will be driving cars at extremely cheap rates for gas.
Wait a minute. Did we just figure out why they do that? Oh my God, we just figured out why they do that.
I mean, I think we've been new.
No, I didn't know that. That kind of actually just went over my mind this entire time.
You never considered the fact that the gas companies are the reason why we don't have a good transportation system?
I think it was more the car companies, not the gas companies.
It's both.
Oh.
It's both of them.
I knew it was both of them, but I never thought about it like that. I just I knew they were doing it, but I just was like, oh, they're doing it so they can keep everything at a high price.
Oh, I know. I talked about this a while back. This is when I first went on my train rant on the podcast. But just to refresh your mind, that the Amtrak is probably the closest thing we have to what Japan's rail systems are.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad. I actually, like I said, I was going to take it.
I've been on it multiple times.
But they had to close down the rails due to snow conditions.
Oh, I meant the other one, not that one.
There's same thing
the one in the U district that goes all
and that one's good. That one's good too. But the Amtrak, again, the Amtrak's a huge train system that does cover a good portion of the United States. Like you can go from Chicago to Seattle just using the Amtrak. And that's not even the only track. Like it goes down to California, Texas. I think it goes to Florida and like the southeast areas as well. Not so much the center, but there's reasons for that. Not because of inconvenience for making rails, but for corporate greed. But the reason why the Amtrak doesn't run as well as it should is because there are companies who own the rails that they basically rent the rails to Amtrak to use. But those freight companies will basically bully Amtrak out of being able to use the rails for passengers. And those same companies, I think, are also in cahoots. They're either in cahoots or are the same companies who are in charge of automotive and oil industries.
And then I'm not going to get into it, but like over the past, 2 weeks, you forgot. It's just been like, we're not actually doing anything positive here. We're not doing shit.
Just to briefly breeze over that in a summary, is when I came back from Japan, after all how peaceful it was there, just having fun, I come back and I start scrolling through social media, and I
like,
literally felt like that meme from Community where Troy walks in the room with the pizza and everything's on fire.
Dude, it's dumb.
It's
like
so
it's not even like
dumb.
I know how they're phrasing it. It's not even Republicans. I'm seeing some people go, because I try to get out of I was trying to see. So while you were gone, I was trying to be like, okay, am I in a bubble? Am I just in my own echo chamber? I got out of it, and from the most part, I do think to some degree, it's just like some people are just actually confused. Like they're like, wait a minute, I thought he would have done that. It's like, no, this is all like totally worthless and all just shooting yourself in the foot. Remember, it's actually on track with a guy who's made 8 businesses which have all become bankrupt. So it's like, this is technically completely on track.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I always say, like, it's easy to get angry at people, but at the same time, like, there's two sides to it. There's the people who are just going to always choose to be ignorant and just be angry about it and not want to learn. Then there's the people who are genuinely just misinformed and actually didn't have any idea of what was going to happen. But I mean, no matter what, we're all going to have to suffer through it. So at this point, it's just we see what happens.
Also, the contradiction of the Ukraine-Russian war, as Caleb said about it, was absolutely
wild.
Terrible, bro.
Actually, it's every situation that I assumed would get worse is getting worse.
I think historically, I'm fine with what's going on because it's going like in the moment, because I think it's the new toy effect. That's what somebody recently like described something as. I'm like, oh wait, that's why people like it. But like so many years after this, historically speaking, people are going to look back at it and be like, oh, this was terrible.
Basically,
this was garbage.
Basically, what we're going through historically is the lead up to the Great Depression, 1930s era, except we skipped the Roaring 20s. Yeah. We completely skipped that part and just went straight to
I'm going to say this right
economic
now. I think
crisis.
In our lifetime, probably when we maybe have kids or like we're in our 30s, there's going to be the next great American president for doing the bare fucking minimum. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the next president. I'm going to guarantee you it's not.
Definitely
it's going to be like in about 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3 presidents, somebody's going to come in and they're going to like dramatically change the field. But like, we're going to look at that historically and be like, he did the bare minimum. There wasn't like a lot of dramatic stuff done. He just reinstated a lot of stuff that was happening during like the 2000s. And that's basically it. But everybody's going to praise it. That's my one thing I think that's going to happen.
I can definitely see it.
Republican and or Democrat. Both fields right now suck. But that's besides the point. I don't care.
At this point, I don't even want to get into it right now.
This
is a happy episode. Everyone, take this out of it. Japan was cool, and it was a good experience.
If more Americans left the country, which I think they need to. I know I know we have a giant one, but I know a lot of people say that there is a problem with America that with states is like we don't view ourselves as a union. We view ourselves as our individual states. And I think that is a problem. But I think to a very, very small core, we are Americans and we like to stay in America. But the moment you go to Japan, you go there for 2 weeks and you realize, wow, their train system is badass.
Wow, their infrastructure is nuts.
And you just come back and you go,
I have to drive my car again. I literally walked so much and it felt so good. That's one thing I wish I could do more in the US is just walk places.
I would kill. I love walking around in the U District.
So cool because you can literally, as you walk, you just discover new stuff.
Oh yeah.
And there's just always something new, but when you're in your car, you just get straight to your destination.
Yeah. Me and Nat walked from her apartment to a bar that I didn't know existed. And when I walked in, on the outside, I was like, this place looks kind of meh. Walked in, I'm like, dude, I'm just in a German bar. And then immediately I went, I kind of regret not going to college. I was immediately like, nah, I could have been here.
Or even
Jared on Saturdays, just chilling. I would have been like,
or even just walking to the park is cool. But like our city and country, to the extension of that, are not designed for you to want to walk.
No.
You have to like basically force yourself to be like, okay, I have to walk to this place if I want to get there. Yeah. If I want to get there in a way that I like via walking, I have to force myself to not take my car.
I do have to say, Seattle does have some good like active transport. It could be better, but it's just the Ouroboros thing. We're just eating ourselves again constantly. But it's like I want to go to a different country, experience it, and then come back and hate some more.
That's pretty much what I did. I came back and an even bigger hater than I was.
I was like, that was some bullshit. I got to Osaka in 20 minutes, dog.
I went from Tokyo to Osaka in the same time it takes for me to get from Moses Lake to Spokane.
That's an hour, right? No, that's less than an hour.
I think it's like an hour 30, because it said it was going to take 2 hours, but we got there faster than that. I want to say it was an hour 30.
Go.
But literally,
and then you didn't waste like $40 on gas, dog. It was like $20. I think $2.
I think it was like $100 ticket to get there. But like, still, there's like that's like
it's $100 ticket, but everything in comparison to that $100 is like $2.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's worth $100 to go.
It's worth, especially because you don't have to deal with the stress. Yeah. Like you're just sitting back, enjoying a ride across the countryside. That's where I really got to see the Japanese countryside. Was on the bullet train to Osaka. And it's just nice. It's worth the money. And I think you can get passes for that too, which make it cheaper, which make it more worth your money.
God, man. God. And right now, I think Japan is still in their economic low. So it's just like, Caleb went, I want you to know, you need to save all the videos that you just had. You went probably during one of the best periods to ever go, dog.
Yeah.
God.
It was so cool.
I want to go down there. It seems so.
You should. And if you go, let me know because I'm ready to go.
I'll go. No, I'll try to convince Nat. We do want to go somewhere. I do want to go somewhere after her graduation, whether that be Guatemala, Mexico. But
and that's coming up, right?
It is. It is. Like 4 months away. June, just 4, right? It's like 4 months away. Well, so we do want to do something. So I kind of got the little like YouTube itch to be like, I need to grind out again for some stuff. And it's just like, I'm waiting for, while you've been gone too, I've been waiting for JoJo Day. So Shibuya, I would have gone down to Shibuya.
Shibuya is cool too.
Shibuya is having an event with JoJo's, and JoJo's is having this whole like online live stream. And the only time they ever do like online live streams that you can watch is only ever to announce stuff. So everybody's just like, so part 7's coming out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so it's just like we're all waiting for this, and I'm hoping a Steel Ball Run comes out. I want to through that, and I hope to God it's weekly. That's all I want. Jesus is in the part.
He's in the part.
Jesus of Nazareth. He's in the part. I'm not joking.
I know he is.
Jesus of Nazareth, please, if you're hearing me in heaven, and you know you're about to have your anime debut of one of the most goated parts, through your holy power, make that some bitch weekly. So really? I could go to Japan. Oh God, it'd be so nice, man.
Yeah.
I would use the Steel Ball Run money very well.
It was so cool.
I'll go down. I'll tell you.
You gotta go.
Did Colby go? He didn't go, right?
No, he's in Montana.
Oh, he is?
He's working.
Why is he in Montana?
All the brothers were gone.
Oh my God. So we can probably end up going with Colby then, if we want to.
And I know he's wanting to.
It'd be nice.
Also, I gotta tell you this because I'm excited about this too. System of a Down and Polyphia are going on tour.
I saw that.
And I'm like, this is like a concert that I can't miss.
God, I saw that. I was like, shit.
I think I'm planning on going. They're having one in Chicago.
Damn, we might have to go there because Nat's been fiending to go to Chicago too.
If you gotta come along,
I'd be down.
I'm literally telling everyone who I know who likes these bands. It's I think it's either August 31st or September 5th.
I can do that.
But I'm literally like, I can't miss that concert.
I'd be down.
It looks so cool.
That definitely would be nice.
I literally, after the Fall Out Boy, I said, the next concert I have to see is Polyphia. And System of a Down just decided to reunite out of nowhere.
Because everybody said, damn, their album's so good 20 years later because they got it right. The entire group, I think we can get back together.
Avengers Assemble.
It really was just an Avengers Assemble moment. I was hearing about that stuff when they were talking about it. I think they all just got really political and they were just like, you want to make music again? And it was like, hell yeah.
Let's do it, baby.
God.
But yeah, I think that's probably the next thing I'm going to do is go see that concert.
I think I might join you on that one too.
You should.
I want to.
You should.
Nat would probably,
all bangers.
I'll tell Nat because congratulations to one of her guy friends. His wife got pregnant.
Oh wow!
So they're having a boy. He lives in Chicago, so
nice.
Convenient.
How convenient.
Convenient.
Get to see the bean, maybe.
Maybe. Could probably crash at their place. That can feed it in. Be like, hey, we're going to a concert. Can we crash at your place?
We're sleepy here.
Yeah, but
anyway.
We got Monster Hunter to play and tacos to eat.
Monster Hunter. What a banger of a game.
I'm fiending right now.
All I got to say about the game right now is your main character aura farms the whole time.
Last night, we need to fight Arkveld level 8. Okay, so our mission is Arkveld level 8 and then Jin Hod level 8. Because was Gore level 8 or 7? He was tempered though.
I think he was 7.
Because that's my goal right now. My goal right now is to beat the bigger bosses with you. Because I never was able to back in the day. Because I did not even touch the tempered Elder Dragons because I was by myself. But now in Discord with a full developed frontal lobe, I won't even lie. So while I was editing my Poochie video that I'm trying to have out by Sunday, is that I was looking up longsword tech videos and I'm like, how can I murk these guys? Oh, and then I finished my build last night. So I think I have technically 160 affinity on draw.
Nice.
And 700 damage. I'm cracked.
Our builds are getting too crazy.
I haven't even touched the dual blades yet. I'm gonna get twin lovers. I have to with the Rathalos Ruby, and I need to farm some level 2 vouchers to get it. But I'm just all I'm like, dude, we're doing some damage.
Literally.
But it makes me scared because I feel like any monsters they add afterwards are gonna be
even
dumb
stronger.
overpowered, or they're gonna end up buffing high rank monsters. Which I think somebody actually had a very good point on Instagram where it was all like, okay, I'm gonna ask you this: do you think base low rank Monster Hunter, if you had Monster Hunter Wilds, if you had no previous knowledge of Worlds, would it be as hard or harder than Worlds?
No, for sure. That's the one thing me and Joey were talking about after everyone got off. Is we were like, I think the reason why we're getting through this game so easy is because we already know
how to play.
Especially because we played Rise too. So we are really
we're vets.
We know the mechanics of how the game works and how the monsters move. So it's no fight is oh man, it's too hard, because World was just new because it was the first time we ever really experienced the game. Because I did play the one on the 3DS. I struggled with that because I had no idea what I was doing. Then World was completely new. But then once I got to Iceborne and then playing Rise, it was all right, I'm really starting to get the hang of what this game is. So now it's it's pretty much routine now that I know exactly what we're supposed to do.
Wild's base is harder than World's base? Or about the same level?
I'd say it's about the same level. Because the only reason people think it's easier is because they played the previous games.
I think we've all gotten better as gamers.
Because I know like Kai's struggling on the early game.
Because he hasn't played anything before.
Because he played a little bit of World, but like I don't think he's as seasoned as we are.
Bro, I'm like a delicious
Wagyu steak I put so much time into both World and Rise.
I put a lot. I didn't play Rise, but
I love.
But
Rise.
Just like Guilty Gear, I never let the memories go.
They're good games.
But I'm thinking. So going back to the previous idea. So if that's the case, I slightly agree less now than that because now that I'm talking to you and I can actually like see it. But like I do think a lot of the higher rank, and I wish if they do even more after this, is all high rank monsters get like a 20% health increase. Like it actually becomes a little bit more challenging. And all of them become more aggressive, but not tempered aggressive.
They might do that, but I know for sure that when they add the Elder Dragons, those are going to actually be a challenge because they always are.
I hope they just like accidentally just make them fucking ridiculously overpowered. I would want to die. We failed with Gore because Gore actually had some delayed hits because that's how he works, and it's just like, this is fun. I'm happy that I finally lost at something. It just took the highest level of the game.
But then really the only reason why I think we failed that too is because we were just ill prepared.
Yeah, I didn't have any mega potions on me. But I just had simple ones and I had like 4.
I just know because I think Gore is like both Gore and Zoshia, I think they both are considered like pseudo Elder Dragons. So that's like the stepping stone of like what the next difficulty is going to reach. So once they add the Elder Dragons, then it's going to be crazy because they're saying they're bringing Fatalis back at some point in this one.
And you know another thing, I said it on Twitter, but you don't have Twitter, so you didn't see it. But I was all like, I think the story of the game is really good, and then I got back introduced with the lore of the game, and I go, fuck, wait a minute, this is actually a really, 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 really good story. I know there's the kid who's all like, no, don't kill them.
Stupid Nada, shut up, Nada.
I like Nada because he's
all like, I hate Nada.
I think Nada's an okay character.
I'll never forgive Nada, but Alma. My queen, Alma.
Alma, give me the directive to murder this motherfucker by the order of the guild. That's all I needed.
By my own order, I will slay Zoshia.
But I think it's a really good story, and I think Zoshia is actually so big brain on this. This might be like 20 years worth of lore actually coming to fruition. Is that
fruition?
Fruition, thank you. Zoshia is supposed to be the ancient dragon weapon.
I think so, yeah.
But it's not the original concept. It's something. It was like that, but then they changed
an evolution of
what that was planned.
The original was supposed to be, or like an offshoot of that idea.
Yeah. So this is the fully fledged idea of what that was supposed to be. And I saw like a really good lore video on it. Be like, this is just. Zoshia is just all Fatalis. He's black, red, and white.
Yeah.
So like the idea is like that Guardian was made to fight.
Actually, I'd say Zoshia is a lot more like Shari Shvalda.
Yeah. There's gonna be like some like major like it's gonna go over everybody's head in that Discord server except for us two because they're gonna be like, oh,
that seems like what the rumor is right now is that at some point they are going to add the equal dragon weapon
or something akin to that. They're going to add lore to it and be like
some crazy amalgamation is going to show up,
like a proper chimera. I would love to fight a proper chimera.
That would be an insane fight.
That would be crazy.
I think this game has a lot of potential.
I think this game's going to last a long ass time.
It should, especially with how large the player base is already.
They made so much goddamn money, and I think they're gonna. I would not be shocked if now accidentally Capcom, because the guy, one of the directors, is now like just game director universally with some of the projects. I would not be shocked if they're going to be like, we're actually going to plan 2 DLCs now because of how successful.
I think that would be cool.
Or more updates. Something.
I would be down if this game lasted a lot longer than both World and Rise did.
Yeah,
because Rise had a short lifespan
because they knew it was just to keep attention. Just be like jingle keys.
The only problem I think that happened with Rise that I think hurt it is when they released it for all consoles. Is they didn't have. Not only did they not have cross save, so your save from the Switch could be transferred, but they also didn't make it so you had cross play. Which this game has, which is, I think, why it's having so much success.
It's neat. Every modern game has to have standard
I think
crossplay.
so at this point.
That's the only thing Fortnite added that was good to the gaming industry. Past that, garbo.
The crossplay, I won't say the menu is...
It needs to be revamped.
The menu systems are not seamless at all, but at least the crossplay is very...
So we're gonna join on squad lobby now, right?
in. Oh yeah, basically squad lobby for anybody out there who has a group who they play with. Just make a squad, and it makes joining each other so easy.
You don't get the automatic invite, which is kind of dumb. I think in a squad lobby that should just be turned on by default. Like everybody in the lobby.
You should be able to enter your squad lobby when you're already in the game too.
Yeah. Okay, but past that, I want to go play. So we're gonna end the episode now, and I need to get. I need to eat.
I'm hungry too.
Okay,
but yeah, fun. It's been fun. It was a fun couple weeks. Should still be fun because crazy stuff happening around us. But we got more Monster Hunter, Switch 2 news coming out next month. What else is happening? We're ending to the end of our season 3 of the podcast.
Oh shit.
That's crazy. So, couple more episodes, and then reach season 3's finale.
I want to end off on this. I would love to actually get like a foam replica of not the Guardian Rathalos sword that I'm using now, but of like Rathalos' longsword or the twin lever blades in foam sword.
Man,
I don't even use dual blades. I've been so addicted to longsword.
If we were already at 100 at an hour 40 into this podcast, I have so much more to tell you, but we got to end the episode here.
We do.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the shorts too. I appreciate that.
Those do very well.
I had a lot of fun making those too.
Maybe you should just do that more often.
I think I should.
I think I need to do that.
I like making like the short form. Oh, you know what? We'll talk about this on the next episode. We got on too long. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next week. Peace out.
Deuces.